am Invisalign free.
Oh, that's exciting. Super exciting. Congratulations.
Now that
We're
we're live,
talking about that today, right?
we are. Yes, I actually have a couple things. So, a couple of parts of the story. So, hello, everybody.
Hi,
Welcome to
everybody.
Thursday.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Chiropractic is Sexy. I am Dr. Paula Ruffin.
And I'm Dr. Erica Peabody. And we're, as usual, we're always happy to be here and we're happy to see all of you here too. So, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up button for us. Make sure you share it. We really appreciate. We are growing and we want to keep growing, and with your help, we can do that. So thank you so much. So we've been talking about the chiropractic principles, the 33 principles of chiropractic. Oh, let me put a banner up here.
There we go. Get that banner
33
going.
principles. Oh, wait, that's principle number 10. Hold on, let me edit
11. Right? We're
that
on
was
11,
from
I
last
think.
week.
Yeah.
Well, last week I accidentally put principle number 11. I was
Yeah.
jumping the gun.
This is 11.
And I feel like last week, well, I feel like as the principles evolve, they become a little bit more, we have to deconstruct them a little bit. And
Yeah.
there is some interpretation that goes along with it. But in the whole grand scheme of it all, we wanted to bring you these principles because we know that they haven't changed. They have been the 33 principles of chiropractic health, healing, wellness since since the dawn of mankind. But someone in 1927 wrote the 33 principles based on Stevenson, based on the fact that these principles stood the test of time, and they've not been pulled off the market. They've not been recalled. They haven't killed anybody, and they do nothing but impact health and healing. So we just thought it was really important to help bring that message to you all so that you can understand where health and healing really comes from. And it comes from within. And when we talk about these principles, they all intertwine, and they're all at some point sound a little bit alike because we are talking about the nervous system. We're talking about innate, so your body's own intuition and ability to heal itself. We're talking about your inner power. We're talking about the difference between your alive body and your dead body. What is that? So all of those things come into play as we bring you the 33 principles. So
yeah, and we're just really using the principle as just a prompt. So basically all it is, well, first of all, as chiropractors, we get super jazzed up about these principles. We just do. And the way that this is written out, I mean, it's like, this one is actually contemporary chiropractic philosophy, which is taking from 1927, taking all the principles and rearranging them. So we're going 1 through 33 this way, but then he takes different ones and starts to rearrange them so that they make sense, because some will feel as we go through the 33 that's going to pop around. But really, all we really did this for is just so that you guys know we're here for 33 episodes to start with. So that's one. You can count on us. You really can count on us. You're going to be able to count on us to come with messages every week. And so that's really, we're like, oh, we're on principle 11. Well, that means we got 22 more, at least 22 more episodes of the two of us at the very minimum. How about that?
Well, that was the thing, right? When we started this, we were like, okay, we have to figure out, what are we going to talk about? We have to, it's chiropractic is sexy. So we want you to understand that when you're under chiropractic care and living the chiropractic lifestyle, which we've defined before, we'll define again, but it's literally living these principles and the things that we're here to help educate on. And so when you can live with all of that, there's nothing sexier about a human than when you are living with this vitality and this life force. And so for us to lean into the 33 principles, and like Dr. Erica said, so we're going to be here for 33 episodes, because as much as these principles stand the test of time, so do we.
That's right.
We're like, yeah, it's game on, right?
It
so
is.
We're not going anywhere.
We also are really open. If you guys have burning questions behind the scenes, always feel free to bring it up, because we just basically come right off of our adjusting floor That's where my door to my adjusting room is. And maybe I should give you guys a tour sometime. But and then this is my, well, war room, truly, like just my mastermind space that I sit and do my notes and do that kind of thing. So we're so fortunate because we literally just stopped adjusting people like minutes ago. And we have stories each week about some of the miracles that we're seeing, about, pregnancy and chiropractic, kids and chiropractic, the elderly, our own athletes, us as athletes and business owners, entrepreneurs. So we always just want to make sure it's tangible, it's real and approachable for you guys. And hopefully you leave with just a little bite-sized piece of something that you can take into your week. So yeah.
Yeah. And I have a couple of stories myself, and I know you do too. So I think this is going to be an exciting week for us both because we have lots to share.
Yeah. So I ran into, well, first of all, I do have a super hard cut at 1:45. So like super hard today. I got to go and assist a tenant and part of her project, and then I'll also go home and see my baby. And I've had just emergency after emergency this morning. It's been wild around here, which if you guys ever look me up, I own a 1889 through 91 is when my building was built. And in the 60s, it was added on to another section, another basically this is a 5,000 square foot home, Victorian, and then 3 floors. And then the other side is about 5,000 more square feet, but it's a brick block building. And I have 17 office spaces and all but one are filled right now. I still have one for rent. If you're listening and need a great office space, come join us in our wellness center here. But anyway, so I was driving over. So I don't even know how to start this story, but I've been in Invisalign for 2.5 years. So in August of 2021, August 20th of 2021, oh my gosh, it's to the day.
Oh, wow.
To the
Wow.
day. Okay. I'm a little bit blown away by that because of how some other things have lined up in my life, like on the personal side as well. So, they were taking all of my, what's that?
Do we need the principle? Will the story
We will. We'll get there, but let me just tell you these couple things first. Well, I don't know. Let me just start here.
Yeah, just go.
So
just do it.
August 20th, 2021, I got Invisalign put on. Not because I never had braces ever in my entire life, but what I wanted is a megawatt smile. So I always had straight teeth. But I just wanted it rearranged a little bit. And I wanted all my teeth to fill up my whole lips. So it's totally vanity, right? However, in getting that alignment going on there, it's also helped my breathe way, all of that. But so they said 2 years. I was like, okay, 2 years are going to go by anyway. But each time that I went in, they would be like, oh, we got to do. And you just prepay for everything up front. They give a discount in that, but then you're set for life. Like just all the retainers you need, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, every time I would go in, I'm like, they would say, well, we're going to rescan you and we got a little more work to do. And I'm like, so last April, I was supposed to be debonded, which they go and grind all of my buttons off my teeth with a grinder. No joke. Six times 2, 24 buttons. It's brutal. But anyway, I got debonded this morning. So I just want to talk about 2.5 years to make a significant change. Like it wasn't like, let me just go once a month. Like, let me just pop in and maybe put my trays in once a month or once
or twice.
You know what I mean? It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So I've had this orthodontic adventure, which I'm really happy with. Of course, I'm my own worst critic and would like a little bit more shift, but whatever. We're done. I'm done. I'm done with the plastic. I'm done with that interfering. The mouth is so connected to the nerves. So I'm done with all that plastic, all the arrangements, all of that. But I still have to do now maintenance, right? I have retainers for life.
What?
That's how it's done.
Maintenance?
Retainers
that's
for life.
dumb.
But it's maintaining them where they are now. I know, right? Maintenance.
What?
I know. So it goes back to the principle of time, which is principle number 6, which is the no process. There is no process out there that doesn't take time.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
have been inside of this world of the principles and continually talking about time. It takes time. We're rearranging, we're recalibrating, we're doing all this stuff. It takes time, it takes time, it takes time. It does. And now that I can speak and preach that and then also be in it, right? So gosh, we have so many,
Yeah.
what? Wow. Let's go.
And also, not only does it take time, but how much patience did that
Oh
take,
my
right?
gosh.
So you can, the patient with a T can be like, oh, that darn dentist, orthodontist, they're telling me I got to come, blah, 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 blah. And
Mhm.
so instead of just you thinking you know better and how to structure your teeth, you trusted
Mhm.
in that practitioner to
Mhm.
know how long you needed, how
Yeah.
much more you needed,
Right. Well, guess
when it
what?
was
So
time.
when I first started, they started to shift things around. Well, all of a sudden, like I still can't open a ketchup packet with my front teeth because they don't do what they used to do. But also, after like probably, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks, only one teeth touched. All the rest of them didn't even touch. So I was like, okay, like this is all eventually going to come back together, right? So they had to rearrange and shape and then bring it all back together and fix the bite. Now everything touches, but these two still don't. It's not that they don't touch. They To open a ketchup packet in the past
Yeah.
has been like that's a simple thing we just take for granted until like you can't bite a gummy bear in half. Like it just like it's so different. And guess what? My airway is open. Guess how
That's
life-changing
key.
that is? It's huge.
It is
It's
huge.
huge.
Well,
It's huge.
I'll just touch on airway for a second because this is why we work with holistic dentists. This
Mhm,
is why it's critical as chiropractors that we understand what airway means. And
mhm.
a dentist who understands chiropractic and the education goes, it's a two-way education. When chiropractors and dentists work together, this is where all the magic happens because you can't. Dr. Erica did all this work on her mouth. Now, a lot of reason that the teeth aren't properly formed is because the palate isn't properly formed, the
Right.
airway is closed off, there might have been an oral tether in there, we don't know. You all can go back and reference my interview with Dr. Sue Shoha a couple weeks ago. She's a holistic dentist here in Bloomfield. But the idea is that Dr. Erica's been getting adjusted. So her
Oh my
spinal
god.
health was,
Mhm.
she's
Right.
getting that piece of it. Then she goes in and she gets her oral health realigned.
Mhm,
So now she's brought the two together.
mhm.
And now with that airway open, it's like game on. Like her nervous system is just,
It's
it's not, it doesn't know what hit it at this point. It's like,
right.
ah.
Right. And the other part about it is that it's really uncomfortable. So I kind of look at it as the adjustment, right? So it can be uncomfortable when you're making those changes. However,
Mm.
so I would call over there because I would get like once you put a new aligner in, it's uncomfortable for a couple days and then you change them out weekly. So it's a couple days, 2.5 days of pain, like every week for 2.5 years. It's a lot. So they always say over there because they're orthodontists. First of all, I don't know how anybody gets orthodontic work done without getting adjusted. All the way that this is connected, it should go hand in hand. It really should. All of it, all of life should be also accompanied with adjustment. And I just a lot of examples, but they would say to me, um, my teeth are well, there's that too.
I'm sorry.
My teeth are in a cup, he says. Um, so, but they would say, well, just take a little Tylenol, take a little Advil. But you want to know what I would choose to do? I never wanted to do that. I'm in this process to be in it. So 2.5 days of every week for 2.5 years of pain is very, very, very challenging, right? But what I would choose to do is I would breathe into it. I would get massage. The one thing that would help is when I put new aligners on, I would go to yoga. Now that seems insane to even say that, but yoga and the movement of all the things really helped with helping my body be more open to the changes that were being made. So yoga's
More
always my
nervous
go-to.
system,
Yep.
right? And so when Erica went in to get her aligners in, and this is just to compare to when people come to the chiropractor. And if I tell you, or Dr. Erica says, this is going to be 6 months to a year, you're looking at 30 to 60 visits, whatever it is. And people are like, can I just come a couple of times? But you walk into the orthodontist's office, and they hand you a piece of paper and they say, it's going to be 2 years and it's going to be $5,000. How do you want to pay? Like, that's it. There's no, like, if you want this, if you want correction, that's it. It's 2 years and $5,000. How do you want to pay? Period. But people come into the chiropractor office and they're like, oh yeah, once you go to the chiropractor, you have to go forever. Why do people not say that about the orthodontist? Once you go to the orthodontist, you have to go forever. What? It's the same thing. It's spinal restructuring. It's oral restructuring. And because of life, because of physical, chemical, emotional stressors, talking, chewing, all the things, she can't just stop. She has to have maintenance. Like,
what if I would have stopped when only 2 of my teeth touched?
Right.
2 out of all the teeth, just these 2 touch. All right, I'm done. Just peace out. Like that. There's no, you just like, that's silly. And when Dr. Paula says that, teeth and mouth is very important. Airway and all the things very important. Guess what's even more important? Your spine. Spine. Your teeth you could take out of your mouth and put them in a cup by you. And put them in when you need them. Your spine, no can do. Yeah. And I'll wash my mouth. No can do, people. No can do. Your spine is so important. Your teeth, you can replace teeth. You can do all kinds of things with your teeth. You can do all kinds of things with even with your extremities, with your organs. You can do nothing but take care of your spine. That's it. That is it. Yeah. You can take care of your spinal column around it if you need cages put in or you need other things. But I got to tell you, if you're not taking care of your spine, it's a death wish.
Slow and steady. It is. I had 2 people this week, one last week, one this week. And both of them still have, one has a frozen shoulder. He's about 85, I'd say 85%, right? But doing chiropractic and cold laser, he's made tremendous. He's only had it since August. And I say only because frozen shoulders can take up to a year to heal. Yeah. Very much tied into nerve dysfunction of the upper cervical spine. So that, again, that's correction. We're talking about a year of correction. And so he's about 80 to 85% better. And then I had another person and she's about 80% better. Again, still has about 20% to go, has little kids, like super mom, working and all of that. Both of them said, because we were doing their re-exam and they needed to renew their package. And they said, well, you've helped me so much to this point. I'm just going to stop and see how it goes from here.
Don't.
How's it going to go from here? And I said to both of them, I go, I actually wouldn't recommend that. Why are you stopping short? And neither one of them, well, I just feel like I can take it from here. Can you? Well, Dr. Erica, what were you going to do with your orthodontics? 80%. Right. How are you going to take it from here?
No.
How does that work?
No. I'm going to print aligners on my printer at home and figure it out. Health doesn't work like that. And the more that you're investing regularly, the better off you're going to be in the long run for sure. So yeah.
Okay. So also I was at the gym. This was a few months ago, right around Christmas. And there was a set of teeth sitting in the middle of like the rack area. And my trainer and I were like,
on a bench.
It's like, why are there teeth? And how do you not know you lost your teeth?
Yeah, for sure.
So Uncle Al, I hope you don't leave your teeth in the middle of a gym.
It's so funny.
P Squared was asking about
yeah.
plastic a couple weeks ago, silicone utensils, cooking sheets. I don't know. I do use, I have like one silicone spatula. I kind of wonder. I wonder about silicone in the sense of how now we have BPA free bottles, but yet they just replaced it with another chemical. Like, I don't know. What do you know about that, Erica?
So the only thing that I can really say is that it's BPA free. So the BPA was a hormone disruptor, right? So
But they replaced it with another hormone disruptor.
So yeah, so as far as some of that stuff goes, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure exactly how to answer that. I mean, isn't silicone an inert substance? Like it's inert for the most part, right? I don't know. Porcelain is it's just we can't win them all, right?
I know.
We just can't win them all.
Yeah.
So I guess just choose what you want to die for. Die from silicone spatula.
Yeah, exactly.
Making really good food, you know what I mean? So making really good food, really healthful food on a silicone spatula, it's like, but I have silicone for baking, and not that I bake a lot, let's be honest, but
Yeah.
I also have silicone for poaching eggs, which I really love. So yeah. So I don't know if I have an answer for that.
On the off chance I make cookies, at that point, if I'm making a cookie, you know that I'm going all in on the cookies. And do I really care that it's on silicone? Because I'm like,
and made them probably with the best ingredient, like
for sure.
ingredients that you can control, or at least we can never be 100% on 100%. Like if we did 80% of really great things, so you made the cookies out of incredible products, organic as much as you can get, low, whatever, and then you flipped them with a silicone spatula, like that's more than 80% really good. So it's it's really hard to say exactly with that. So we should probably transition to.
Let's do that. Because I do want to, let me answer this one real quick.
Yeah.
So it was suggested to take 409, I don't know why 409, that's random, riboflavin B2 for migraine prevention. It's also suggested a chiropractic adjustment. Chiropractic adjustments, we need to stop saying a chiropractic adjustment. So chiropractic for migraine, like you have to get the stress off of the brainstem, period. And then magnesium threonate is what I recommend on a regular basis, on a daily basis, if you have migraines.
So the other part of migraine is almost always, it is always a vascular incident, right? So B's are always helpful with cardio, which is heart things, and blood building. And so, but yeah, there's a lot of reasons why. In fact, I had migraine headaches since I was around 11 or 12. And I had heart surgery in 2019, and I haven't had one since. So mine was created from my heart and inability to regulate blood pressures properly. So what would happen is I had a hole in my heart, so my pressures wouldn't hold to my head properly. So then my body would overcompensate and send too much blood. So there's just a lot of factors. There's a lot of chemistry. There's a lot of hormones involved. There's a lot of different things. So, but B vitamins are helpful for cardiac in general. So, but there's no this is the silver bullet for that really ever. So eat well, move well, think well, get your rest, get your water, and get adjusted. Just always have
sleep. And good sleep.
The stress hormones of being misaligned, the stress hormones on the body is overwhelming for the body. Those stress hormones are good in the moment. They're not good long-term. They'll kill you. So just for that reason alone, alone,
you can't have, if you're like, I have migraines, okay, take B2, take magnesium.
It doesn't work like that.
It is when you have migraines, it's a multitude of things, like Dr. Erica said, and you have to put a microscope on what you're doing.
A lifestyle.
It is lifestyle. And how many people do you come across, Erica, where you're like, quit eating like shit, Like, what are you doing? Like,
I
why are
know.
you drinking pop? Don't bring a Gatorade in here. Like, what? You're ruining my energy by bringing that in here. You're drinking bottled water. It's like you got to put the microscope on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I would almost guarantee that if you cleaned up your diet, you got better rest, you started taking high quality overall supplementation, the
Right.
core 4, and got adjusted, migraines done. So, yeah.
Okay, so
Okay, go
principle
ahead.
number 11, the character of universal forces. So, okay. The forces of universal intelligence are manifested by physical laws, are unswerving and unadapted, and have no solitude for the structures in which they work.
Okay, wait,
What?
read that again.
Wasabi.
I was like, ooh, okay. I'm trying. Read that again. That's a chewy one.
It is really chewy. Okay, the forces of universal intelligence are manifested by physical laws, are unswerving and unadapted, and have no solitude for the structures in which they work. Now, to me, this just says everything works with everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no like, we have the heart system and then it stops. We have the lung system, then it stops. Like it's all integrated and unswerving and unadapted to me. And I'm getting like a full goosebump witness on this for some reason, is that it permeates everything, and that it doesn't and has no solitude for the structures. So there's like, it's not solitary. I mean, that's just what that means to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you say?
It immediately makes me think, it immediately makes me go to physics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Physics. And I just pulled this up, the law of relativity. The speed of light in a vacuum is constant. Speed and time must be warped to make this law true. Energy can either be created or destroyed, but only changed form. Everything in the universe has two sides, and only two extremes of the same thing are different degrees of the same thing. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So these are, and there's so many more, but so that makes me think of the laws of physics. They are not adaptable. They are actual laws of physics and of universal laws. So that's what that means to me.
Yeah. I mean, it is a super chewy thing. The forces of universal intelligence are manifested by physical laws. So when we talk about that universal intelligence, it is that overarching, it's the God force, it's the spirit, it's all of that. When it's in the body, that's when it goes from universal to innate. So just always keep that in mind. The universal intelligence is the grand master of everything, and people will call it God or however you want to word it. But then when that force is working through us, which is the only thing that's taken from us when we're dead, when we drop dead, like Paula always says about her mom,
Drop dead. Yeah.
we drop dead. That's the only thing that left was that. So in what I'm just looking, are unswerving, such a funny word. I've never even seen that word ever written out.
Yeah.
Unswerving and unadapted, and have no solitude for the structures in which they work.
Why did it reject my comment? That's so weird. YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam, trying to change it. Try changing it a bit. What? I just said
whatever I want to on my own video.
How, like, what? Well, he said he was brushing his dog's teeth. I'm like, get that dog a femur bone.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, femur bone, ? And I'm like, go to the butcher, ask him to cut a raw femur bone into 2-inch chunks. Don't let him chew it all at once because he's too young to eat it.
It came up as New Hudson Chiropractic Wellness Center. It came up there.
No, but Dr. Paula Ruffin, DC, and Dr. Erica Peabody, there's a big YouTube rejected the comment on those pages saying it's
straight
spam.
trouble today. Straight trouble talking universal intelligence. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, darn it. Okay. I'm just going to leave it. Get him a femur bone.
Yeah, it's there. I see it.
Is it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that there's laws that are universal truths, kind of like all the 33 principles.
Mm-hmm.
We can't, what did you say? Unswerving?
Unswerving and unadapted. and have no solitude for the structures in which they work. And to me, that just means it's ever permeating.
Yeah.
Like it's just ever permeating. So we come into this body and it's the nervous system that is controlling, coordinating how all those things work together.
Yeah. Law of polarity. Everything in the universe. Oh no, I read that one. I'm just looking here. Yeah, like energy can't be created or destroyed, but only
That's
change
exactly
form.
it. It
Yeah,
just
they're just gonna.
So if universal intelligence is can never be created or destroyed, then it's shifting, and
Mhm.
it doesn't stick into one thing. The body is such a more miraculous than anything that could ever be created by man. I mean, it is created by man and woman, but just as far as like technology, like it's the most advanced, and it's one of those things that we really take for granted until we can't. And as we talked about last time, like if you have your health, you have a million wishes, and if you don't, you have one wish, which is for your health. And so, yeah, just yet another reason to continually take the best care.
Well, and I would imagine, I'm thinking about that word unswerving, because I'm trying to chew on that a little bit. And I think where it's landing with me is that it is, I know it said it's not adaptable, but I'm going to use the word adaptable, is that it is adaptable to a point, but when it is on a track, right, energy can either be created or destroyed. It can only change form. So the unswerving part is can't be created or destroyed.
Yeah,
But
it's
the
going
adaptability is it's
places.
going to change form, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's how I'm looking at that. Is
Yeah.
that
I think sometimes inside of these too, it's like we don't really have that much respect for the innate intelligence until it's gone, until our loved one passes away right in front of us. And then the only difference is that animated force is no longer there. And if we can get to the point where we can begin to have utmost respect for that force while we're living, imagine how much more living we would be doing.
ooh,
I
say that
mean,
again. Can you repeat that?
I don't know if I could say that again. Let's see.
Let me rewind that. That was
I
good.
know. I started with first, we don't necessarily respect the innate intelligence and the universal intelligence until it's left the body in a loved one that's died right in front of us. And if we can begin to just try this on for a minute. If instead of waiting until death, we begin to respect the force that keeps us alive and animates us, if we can begin to respect it, take care of it, foster it while we're living, we'll live more. We'll have
You know,
more experiences. We'll have more living, more life.
and I think this goes to, I was having a conversation with another chiropractic girlfriend this morning, our friend Heidi down in Tennessee, and she has a 40-week pregnant mom who came to see her yesterday. It's her third child. She saw a chiropractor all through her pregnancy on the first two. And the doctors are like, we're going to induce labor if you don't go into labor by whatever the date it is. And her friend talked her into getting massages through her pregnancy instead of getting chiropractic on this third pregnancy. So she shows up in Heidi's office at 40 weeks. And Heidi's like, and listen, you guys, none of us really, we know what to do with you. But when you show up at 40 weeks and you're like, do you think you'll go into labor after one adjustment? You know what? No, we're not doing that.
Well, go ahead.
Wait, let me finish that real quick. So this woman, she's like, and she said, I really regret that. I should have been coming to the chiropractor all along, because now it's called the Vanderbilt Midwives down in Tennessee. They're scheduling her to be induced by, I forget what the date is, and it's next week sometime. And they had to schedule it on a date sooner because they're booked. Like when she needed to be in there, they're booked. And I'm like, wait a minute, birth is natural. And this is when women are like, they get talked into, oh, the doctor's going to be on vacation and I want that doctor to deliver me. So I'm scheduling a C-section, or I'm scheduling to be induced so I can go in. That is not how you are messing with innate intelligence. You are messing with the divine process that should be taking place. And the baby's not going to stay in you forever.
Right,
It
for
will come
sure.
out.
I mean,
And those due dates are wrong most of the time anyway.
well,
So,
okay, so and the ramifications of that baby being birthed in that way
right.
doesn't just affect the birth. The stuff that we put into our bodies, the things we do with our bodies today, ripples, like major ripples. I have moms that come in too at those times and, or they're under care along the way, or they're sporadically under care for years. And they say, can you do something to put my body into labor? And I'm like, here's the thing. If there was a magic button, do you know how hard it would be to get into this office? I would have a line
Yeah.
out the door, down the street, and all the way to the downtown area. Like, no, it doesn't. The body, not labor and delivery. The body doesn't work like that.
Mhm.
However, this universal and then innate intelligence has a plan. And if we learn to, we'll go back to respecting that innate intelligence now on the day to day, not just when it's left the body at the end. That's when we take a close look and say, okay, I got a body, no innate intelligence. Now there's death. Like, how about when I have a body and there is innate intelligence? Now there's life. And then take that, respect that, eat well, move well, think well, drink your water, get your rest, get adjusted, and live a really full life.
Yeah. Yeah. Really. And I love that idea of respecting it. And I remember going through gross anatomy and, digging through dead bodies and just looking at, and while, yes, it was like creepy and gross for the first couple of weeks, after a while, you're sitting there eating a bagel and having a coffee, hanging over a dead body and like, sitting around with all the formaldehyde.
I mean, what?
I mean,
Fine.
but it was in that moment. And I remember, we had bins of body parts. So I remember this one day, and I was always in awe of the human body anyway, but I was in the bin with knees. We were studying knee joints that day. And I remember taking the knee joint and I was going like this. And I was watching, I was just looking at how the meniscus are perfectly placed between the bones and how the ACL and the PCL, the tendons and ligaments, would perfectly open and close and I sat there for probably 5 minutes doing this, just in awe of the perfection of the engineering of that. That is innate, building us perfectly.
You're right.
And I truly feel like everybody should have an opportunity to see the human body from that perspective, because when you do, you're like, holy moly, we were built and designed with perfection.
Two cells come together. And if you could see, and you guys can look it up, if you could see the way that the hand, the ligaments connect, they go through sheaths, they come up. You can bend these knuckles because of one. You can bend these knuckles because of another. You can bend these knuckles because of another. And if you can go, actually, next time the body's exhibit is around you, just go.
I'm sorry I missed it.
Know that one egg and one sperm came together. The innate, I mean, it freaking blows when we start talking this way, it freaking blows my mind. And the fact that that's what's happening in a pregnant mom, and that when those cells come together, they form this body, like
replicate trillions of times.
Yeah.
With
and
perfection.
That body's meant to go through the birth canal and come out the other side, and also then go about its life. So the perfection of it all is just, it's just something that we can just think about a little bit more. And then if you want to take the best care of that innate intelligence, you got to get adjusted. Like, there's no other way around it. You want to feed it and nourish it well, but you got to get adjusted so it can be that superhighway, that information superhighway in the body.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want disruption in your signals. I always say, like, do you want to read in the dark or do you want to read in the light?
Right.
Turn the light on. And that's what, chiropractic does. And, I think too, the unswerving is the innate is unswerving. It is unswerving. It is what it is. It is designed. It's designed for perfection. And as much as we talk about respecting the body and eating well, thinking well, sleeping well, drinking your water, all the getting adjusted, all of that putting you into the most vital path that you possibly can be in, that is adaptability with innate. Now, you know what else innate does though, is when you don't do all those things and you don't take care of it, your body still adapts because your body is fighting to keep you alive. And that's where poor health comes from. It's so your poor health, your body's adapting to the fact that you're trying to kill it and it's trying to keep
every day.
Every day. Yeah. You pick up a cigarette, it's like, or vaping or whatever that is, right? Like people are like, oh, I vape weed because it helps with my pain. Well, then chew a gummy or something. Like putting shit in your lungs is still putting shit in your lungs, period. So I think that's just really, really important to just start thinking. Again, we say this every week, just the awareness of the things that you're doing that are derailing you, that you're trying to go. So the Vanderbilt medical doctors, midwives, are going completely against innate intelligence. And this woman, she's like, doesn't know what to do. She's caught between a rock and a hard place because she's like, well, I think I just won't show up for the appointment. And then so she's going to kind of circumvent it and say, I'm not going to show up for the appointment. I understand that when I go into labor, I now have to go to the hospital. What are they going to do? Reject me? So she's choosing to not. So hopefully she'll go into labor naturally over the weekend and she can deliver with the midwives. But if she doesn't, and it gets to that date, she's like, I'm not doing it. I'm going to wait for my body to go into labor and then go into the hospital and have, get delivered by the doctor. So, but anyway, do you want to read that one more time? Cause it's 1:43. I want to respect your time to get off of here today.
Yeah. So I'm going to share my other story for next week. Cause I have a whole other story of what happened. I mean, orthodontics was an emergency, right? But I did have an emergency while I'm on the orthodontic table. So, but I'm going to save that for next week. And then I was just thinking about one more thing that I keep going over and over with patients. So please come back next week because this is never going to stop.
No,
it's literally like we go through our weeks and we're like, wow, did you see that? Whoa. So it's just super cool that the stories will go on forever. And yes, bagels and coffee and anatomy and dead bodies.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we totally did.
We're starving students. Like, and we need caffeine and food.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we ate in anatomy lab all the time because what were you going to do?
I actually, just a real quick story about anatomy lab. I remember being in there. There was this paratrooper. He was like 6'5", donated his body. He had a bunch of different things. But so just to leave you guys with this visual, our anatomy instructor took a Dremel tool and dremeled all the way up and all the way over the top, and then took this side of his face and opened it like this. Not even kidding. Yeah. But I got to tell you, the things that you can see behind that, because he did that, is the whole point of a gross anatomy lab, right? Yeah. But also, I'll never forget that, being able to see the inside, see what we're affecting. So ham sandwich and a side of liver. Okay, so principle number 11, the character of universal forces. The forces of universal intelligence are manifested by physical laws, are unswerving and unadapted, and have no solitude for the structures in which they work.
And some people might need a gummy to review that one. So
anyway.
And then let's read number 12 for next week.
Number 12, the interference with transmission of universal forces. Now we're getting to the good stuff.
Well, that was the pregnancy story, right? Yes. So, all right, you guys, it is 1:45. We're going to let Miss Erica go run about her busy day. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your questions. We appreciate you being here. Again, make sure you email me if you have any other things that you want us to address, but we'll be back next week for principle
Yeah.
number 12. Thanks for
Bring
hanging
your
out with us.
comments. Love you
Talk to you
guys.
soon. Bye.
See you next time.